Hey, it's Shaves, and welcome to another expedition of the Anime Encyclopedia. We're here again. Doing our thing. I didn't get that. I should put Gouche like something else. It looks like I'm going backwards. I just realized that. I think it's supposed to be A-O-U. Gouche. Yeah. It's the G-O. But yeah, we're not, I didn't do too much. But that's because I couldn't do a ton of reading because I really wanted to get these captions I'm working on done. And I still have to do more captions after I do this stream. But it should be fine. We still have a fair deal to talk about, I think. Yeah. Just talking myself into it. We'll wait a couple more minutes for people to show up. As it be. I'm sorry, it's always dependent of whether I'm streaming Fridays or Saturdays. It is just kind of like a week to week figuring out things. It's hard to get a concrete schedule for some of these things. Hey little Greg, good to see you. I've been watching A Good Dog of Flanders. I think it's the weakest World Masterpiece Theater anime I've seen so far. Very one note. It's also the first I've seen without Miyazaki Takahata Tomino combo. Yeah, I'm sure that probably sucks the life out of it a lot. I mean, unfortunately, I've been pretty mid on Takahata's middle child, 3000 Leagues in Search of Mother so far. It took 15 episodes for him to go on the journey to start with. And I get kind of where the idea was, where they were trying to build up this work ethic for him, but it didn't have to take that long. I also get that they're establishing this other character that leaves ahead of him, and she's gonna be back in the story at some point. I guess, but she's not like a recurring character. They're introducing so many of these other random flat characters that I don't really care. I care about Marco, and the core premise of the show I still really like, but it took forever to get going. And now that it's finally gotten going, the first episode of that is just on the boat, and it's kind of similar where it's not compelling in the same way. It's not like Heidi. Heidi is so goated. And it's not, I mean, Takahata means there's obvious talent there, but like, they were just so smart with that anime, being like so focused on very small group of characters, very likable characters. All of them are really likable. The conflicts are interesting, and it's a gorgeous show to boot. Never mind, like, it's actually been kept well and it's subbed decently. I feel so bad because 3000 Leagues in Search of Mother, like, not only am I bored with it, but like, it doesn't look very good. Not like the video quality is not great. And then the subs are machine translated. I'm basically watching it raw. It sucks. So it's really not a great time right now, unfortunately. It's not been taken good care of. Bit of a black sheep. But I'm still into it. Still looking to see how it goes. No worries, have you been? Otherwise good. I've been busy. This week I did a bunch of Digimon captions. We announced that title recently. And right now I'm working on the closed captions for that, and they're a bit different, so they're a little weird, but they hopefully are taking a little quicker, which the video restoration didn't. The video restoration, it looks gorgeous. I have the offlines, and I'm working with it, and like, the show looks incredible. Very, very impressive work with AstroRes. But the guy went over a little time, I guess. So they're hoping to stay ahead of schedule. So I'm just like, yep, I will do my darnest, and I'm episode 23 in, so 4 more episodes. 5, I've done 2 today, so I need to do 5 more, and then I'll be halfway done through the show. So I really want to do those 5 after I stream. Probably be up till 2 a.m. or something. Dog of Land really builds to something though, so when the ending comes, it really hits like a brick. You could still just get that from the movie. I actually like the Italian part of 3000 Leagues the most. I think it get worse from there. The latter half is frustrating to an extent. Yeah, Dog Flanders also has bad subs. That sucks. And that does suck about the that opening part being the best one. That's yikes. I mean, I don't know about it being frustrating. I'll have to see. I would be interested in how it gets frustrating. I was frustrated that he wasn't going on the journey, but maybe the fact that like he doesn't get to go on that actual journey and he has to kind of do a bunch of jobs and stuff. I don't know. Maybe. We'll see. But at least Heidi's amazing. It makes up for it. Unbelievable. I'm happy I'm doing 3,000 Leagues now, so that my expectations aren't totally inflated by the time I get to it. I've been watching it simultaneously. Enough about that and me and things. Let's get right into the notes. So this is just a chunk of G. I'm sorry it's not all of it again. But there were several really big articles and big names and stuff, so I thought it was a good reading. So some changes. Ghost in the Shell, they have this one line about it takes, like, I guess Shiro's original manga, they say it takes place in the sprawling future metropolis of Tokyo, and they changed it to sprawling but plainly Japanese future metropolis. I'm kind of curious and interested why they did that. I don't know what a big deal much of a difference that is, but I guess someone probably corrected them on it, and they were like, "Ooh, okay." I don't know. And there were huge sections, of course, talking about Standalone Complex, Innocence, Second Gig, the OVAs, and Arise. All of that came out after 2001. So they added it kind of doubled the length of that article. And we'll get to it later, but like they literally gave their opinions on almost all of those. At least on Standalone Complex and Innocence and Second Gig, which they've almost never done. They would give their opinion on one of the entries, but not multiple ones in the same article. And also with big, it's an exception to that idea we had earlier about like they don't give their opinion about these big franchises like City Hunter or Dragon Ball and blah blah blah. They usually refrain from doing that, and they bloat the articles by listing a bunch of the movies and side stuff. But here they actually gave all the they gave that amount as well as their opinions and stuff. So they were actually really amped with this one. I think I'll like Dog Flanders 97 movie a lot more than the 75 show, hopefully. I bet I will probably like Dazaki's episode the most, to be honest. Don't know if how I should feel about having the majority of One Masterpiece Theater spoiled to me for years. I think some of these are kind of like you expect it, but because they're so famous stories, it's more about the execution, especially with Heidi. It's really just watching it. Even if you kind of can get an idea of what happens or where it goes, it doesn't really matter. I think it's like the actual technical craft on display is what's amazing about that show. The Ghost in the Shell movie has a great Hong Kong inspired setting. Yes, they mention it to like Oshii moves it to Hong Kong basically. I think they were referring to the manga when they said that. Ghost Sweeper Mikami, they said in the 2001 edition, at the time it hadn't been brought over to the US, and they said Ghost Sweeper Mikami's failure to reach the US is a real mystery. And then they changed it to the time Ghost Sweeper Mikami took to reach the US is a real mystery. And then they don't change anything else. They're like, it could have been as big as Rama 1/2 if it got the chance. Yeah, I guess so. That's too bad. Gigantor. There was a blurb about... This was really interesting. I actually want to read this one now. Atata. Gigantor. Gigantor. So hard to scroll through this thing, and I don't like just control F'ing. Although I probably should. I'm sorry. There it is. Sheesh. Yeah, so let me just give the context here. However, the post-war Iron Man, Tetsujin is Iron Man, just translated like that, so they call him Iron Man. The post-war Iron Man was considered peaceful enough for 52 of the early episodes to get a US release courtesy of Fred Ladd, who who toned down some of the death and violence and ensured that almost every villain in the show had sounded like a Nazi or a Chicago mobster. Here's the added part that they put. In his memoirs published in 2009, Ladd revealed that the entire World War II subplot had been kept from him by canny licensors, C-A-N-N-Y, by canny licensors, who lied at the time that the animation of the show's first 26 episodes was too poor quality for the US and not even worth looking at. In answer to American concerns over censorship and localization, Ladd was obliged to ensure that no episodes ended on a cliffhanger, which required rehiring Japanese animators TCJ to make new endings for many episodes that had previously formed parts of ongoing 2- and 3-part story arcs. That's so interesting. That's crazy. I really like that. I'm happy they included that. That's the kind of information that's so valuable here, and that's what's like really worth reading. And it's a shame that it's so bloated with like synopsis. You know what I mean? There was one title, like though I think it was down here, where they were describing the plot, the thing for Ghosts, and I had not heard of this one at all. And so I was like, I wish they said more about this title, because this was the title. This is like a title that like I'd be interested in hearing more about, besides just what it's about. Like, how'd this come to be, and like, what's it like, and things like, you know, not even like a review per se. I don't know, it just, synopsis is just not what I'm interested in, personally. And maybe that's the case with actual readers, and they know their readership, perhaps. Let me know if the music and volume is good with everything. Okay. Chat over here. Anyway. Yeah, I loved that blurb. Very happy they included that. And for some reason I didn't put, I was so distracted by that I actually didn't put this other things that, wait. I totally did. Wait, what happened to it? I must have deleted it or something, because I definitely remember writing this. That's so weird. Hold on, I'm sorry. So Otomo's tributes in Akira, they mention how like Gigantor also supplied inspiration for creator Katsuhiro Otomo, who wrote a trilogy of adult manga designed to be modern retellings of old classics. They were Fireball, featuring a supercomputer modeled on Astro Boy, Domu, featuring the psychic schoolgirl modeled on Ichan, the ninja, and Akira, in which a Shotaro Kaneda and a Colonel Shikishima, who is the son of an inventor, fight over a classified weapon left over from an old war, known as Number 28. Yeah, the Tetsugen 28. That's pretty cool. And they also... for 04 series and 05 live action. Yeah. Alright. Gigolo. They added that the initial British release even managed to misspell the title, like Gigalo or something. Girl from Fantasia. They changed buys a bargain. This is in the synopsis where the character buys a bargain rug to, in the 3rd edition, it says he finds a rug among some trash on the sidewalk. Pretty significant difference, but, you know, interesting. Girls in Summer Dresses, they changed it from the 7th of August to the 6th of August because of the Hiroshima. It's about, girls working in a certain factory in Hiroshima during the war. And, of course, things happen. This movie was a rare anime... They also added this part that this TV movie was a rare anime outing for screenwriter Makiko Uchidate. I don't know who Makiko Uchidate is, but that's interesting. That's something I like being pointed out. I wish they pointed stuff like that out more often. That was more like staff-based, you know, and knowing the people who made it. I mean, this is still, for 2001, This is still way better than what most fans had gotten up to that point. It's still an incredibly valuable resource, despite certain things not being quite accurate and a little weirdness here and there. This is great. They added this for the 3rd edition though. They changed one of the titles, Gloria Forbidden Relations, to just Gloria. They changed Go For It Kanbei to Go For It Ganbei, which that happens sometimes. They just kind of they mix up ko and go sometimes. That happens. Although there's one this one Go Goshiben to Go Goshogawara. Completely different main character name. They have Benkyo Gosho to Kaku Goshogawara. And that might be like a kanji that maybe Kaku and Benkyo have the same kanji, maybe. That could happen. This is one movie, Go For It Tabuchi. The 1st edition is listed. The 1st edition lists only the 2nd movie. It's a 3-movie trilogy. They didn't intend it. There's 3 movies that came out, and they only listed the 2nd movie for some reason in the 1st edition. So they added these synopses for the 1st and 3rd movie, and then they also added some further behind-the-scenes insight. They do have from the 1st edition that is by the creator of My Neighbors the Yamadas, which is true, and especially if you look at the art style for these movies, it literally is just the My Neighbors the Yamadas art style, except in like the 1970s. It's really interesting. I've been really meaning to check out those movies personally. And according to the synopsis, there's in the 2nd movie, Dokuben shows up, like the manga character Dokuben, from a completely different manga. I thought that was interesting. And apparently, like they were thinking of making it a series, but the main seiyuu just wasn't available. They couldn't have been able to do it. But also they were getting into trouble because they were using a lot of real baseball player names, like real people, and the players were starting to get upset that they weren't being compensated for their likeness, which is fair. It actually kind of reminded me of the whole college, the thing in the U.S. with the college basketball and college football and stuff, where they would make these video games with these college football players' likeness or these college basketball players' likeness, and they would not get compensated for their name or face. So that was interesting. They wouldn't get like royalties or anything. Because the whole thing with like the school or whatever. So that was interesting. Like pay UCLA athletes or something. Yeah. Go Shiban. Golden Bat, they added about how the manga itself has a long pedigree. And they added how it first appeared in 1930 in Kamishibai Street Theater. They also swapped... Oh, never mind. Did AIC announce a remake? I may have mixed that with something else. Added. I'm just going to put added. Yeah. Or I could have sworn. I don't want to just do a bunch of this. Because this is why I don't do it during stream. You know what I mean? It'd just be boring. If this isn't boring enough. I hope it's not. I just, I've been feeling it less and less, I'll admit. Yeah, I was right. Hong Kong Sui Hark. Yeah. For proposed, I was right. Replaced proposed 02 remake with I want to watch My Neighbors the Yamadas, the TV anime. Did it get a TV anime? Yes, it did. At least it looks like it. Ojamanga Yamada-kun. Yeah. It even has a movie from 1981, besides the My Neighbors the Yamadas, which I don't even see on here. Weird. Anyway. Yes. So Golden Boy. This was interesting. So Golden Boy's synopsis is pretty significantly changed, or it's spruced up. Let me read kind of bit by bit. You know, I don't want to do this too often. This doesn't happen too often, thankfully. Otherwise, this would take a lot longer. All right. You could tell that this was redone by, like, a fan. Like, somebody read their article on it and, like, this is very inadequate. And they probably got multiple people saying that. It's not that it's awful. It's just kind of not as good. You know, you can tell where they improved it. So I'm going to kind of read it bit by bit. This is the first edition. The wanderings of a college boy who prefers to learn at the University of Life. And they changed that to the wanderings of a Tokyo University dropout, parentheses, he completed the coursework but has yet to graduate, who prefers to learn at the University of Life. So they added the fact that he's an actual dropout, because it just says here that he's a college boy who prefers to learn at the University of Life. You know, it just gives more detail like that. Kentaro cycles from job to job. This says Kentaro bicycles from job to job, because it makes it sound like he just cycles as in, like, metaphorically cycles. But bicycles, you get a better sense of the story. Charming the local lovelies everywhere he goes. And they changed that to charming the local lovelies as he goes, though it often takes time for them to see past his bad habits, such as worshipping the toilets said lovelies use and sketching everything that catches his eye. So they're actually, like, describing him better. It sounds so generic in the first version. Seducing the sexy boss of a computer company in the first episode, only to bed the daughter of a politician whose campaign he is supposed to be managing, Kentaro never gives up. I guess that's correct, right? They change it to seducing the hard-shelled but sexy boss of a software company in the first episode, only to dodge the advances of the daughter of a small-town machine politician whose campaign he's supposed to be managing. Kentaro never gives up learning. It just gets a better sense of the series, you know what I mean? Like, Benkyo, and like the daughter is the one actually kind of advancing on him instead of, like, he only to bed the daughter of a politician, you know what I mean? Other jobs where Kentaro let me read over here. Other jobs where Kentaro gets to try out his seduction skills. And then this one is the third edition. Kentaro only other jobs where Kentaro worms his way into female hearts, which is more accurate. Tries out his seduction skills. Include noodle chef, swimming instructor, biker boy, which they do change for housekeeper for a wealthy traditional young woman, and finally working in an animation studio. And then the first edition says, based on a minor work by Tatsuya Egawa, better known for Magical Magical Taruto, and the manga Tokyo University Story and Be Free. Whatever, and then so they add this entire paragraph in the third edition. Not paragraph, blurb. Whatever trouble Kentaro gets into, he gets out of with his cheerfulness, dedicated work ethic, and phenomenal ability to learn new skills in record time. Though unlike his manga incarnation, the anime Kentaro never manages to go all the way with his objects of desire. So they actually kind of complete the the synopsis there. And then based on the manga by Tatsuya Egawa, based on a minor work. Like, even just saying minor work, it makes it sound like it's a nothing kind of property, right? Based on the manga by Tatsuya Egawa, better known for Magical Taruto, and the manga for Tokyo University Story and Be Free. They add this in the third edition, featuring character designs by Cowboy Bebop's Toshihiro Kawamoto. So, like, there's little bits here and there that are kind of pushing it, you know, in places to improve the article. And I do think that's a much improved article. It's a way better synopsis, way more in faith and like, true to what it is. And then that little tidbit at the, you know, even if they have, you can read who designed it, Toshihiro Kawamoto, in the description. The fact that they put it in the article and you see that is effective, especially when you're like, oh, it's Cowboy Bebop's character designer. They get a better sense of it, right? I wish they did more of that. I loved Golden Boy. The dub is top tier. Best comedy ever made. Kentaro doesn't try to actually seduce anyone, really. He likes the ladies, but they don't like him until he's already gone. Exactly. Yeah, so I really enjoy that. That was really interesting, though. They really spruced that article up. So Golgo 13. I find it interesting that Golden Boy is the author's most well-known work in the West. It's when it's way more obscure in Japan. Also, hey. Yeah, good seeing you, Fullwind, man. Golgo 13. They added to the CG helicopter passage. And so in the first edition, they're like, it's not unlike looking at an Atari game. And then they added in the third edition, that was nevertheless groundbreaking at the time. They actually do put this, like, that's actually a really significant thing. You don't want to just clown on it. Like, yeah, it doesn't look very good with the rest of the movie. It doesn't gel. But, like, they also did that with the opening scene. Everyone thinks it's just the helicopter scene, but they did do the same CG stuff featured in the opening credits as well. But yeah, it's just the right attitude to go about it. Like, you can clown on it and be frank about what it looks like. But it's important to point that out. It's nevertheless groundbreaking. They also added a paragraph about the 2009 series and the live-action incarnations. And it's through that, because I read the Golgo article through first edition a while ago, like very early on, because it was a Dazaki, and I had heard about it before. The third edition, I think that was the first time I read it, and that was when I realized it's not necessarily the Dazaki movie they had quite the problem with. They just don't like the character. They just don't like the franchise, period. Because they give even more negative, pessimistic takes about the TV series as well. So I was just like, yeah, you just don't like the movie. You just don't like the franchise, and that's fair. But yeah, the way they word it too, it's not the most respectful either, which is unfortunate. It's similar to like Crayon Shin-chan. They have this disdain of Shin-chan, and like, not gonna really give them much credit of the fact that it lasted for so long and is still lasted. You know, that's not something every anime can say, really. The Golgo CG looks more like an early PS1 FMV than an Atari game. You know, come see, come saw. Goodbye Little Hippo. They cut a spoiler out. That's great. Although it's a spoiler that you can kind of glean from the synopsis and the title of the movie. But the actual detail of that spoiler was cut. And good thing too, because like they make a joke in that article too, like kind of at the expense, and it's like that's not great, at least in my opinion. Gouche the Cellist. They added about how it was released on DVD in Japan with English subs. So that was just the only blurb that they put. Okay. Ghibli's from 2000 is one of the new articles that could have been in the first edition but aren't. Genocyber is another one from 1977. Girl Next Door from 2000, and then Glorious Subsection Chief from 1976. Yeah, right. I didn't read those articles because I'm going to count them as like third edition. Golgo has been in publication for so long, by their definition of length equals quality, so they should have loved it. I mean, yeah, that's the weird thing, right? On one hand, they had that opinion of like, oh, it's successful, right? And like just because an OVA is 2 episodes, that means it flops. It's like, oh, it flopped and it only lasted this long or something. Like they word that, but then they don't have they've worded some big franchises that have gone on for a while of like they brought it back to life. Its lifeless corpse stumbled onwards in this next installment. Like they were just kind of throwing popcorn at it as they were describing it, I guess. So I mean, it's a little weird for them. It's like which is it? You know? Positive opinions. Again, Ghost in the Shell, Standalone Complex, and Second Gig all got very isolated, specific, directed, positive compliments. Ghost in the Shell movie is one of the best anime available in English. Whew! True cyberpunk film. And then Standalone Complex is a compelling cyberpunk drama. And then Second Gig is another excellent series. Although they did have a little more to complain about that one. Like they were like, oh, it's reinventing the wheel or, whatever. Their opinions are very inconsistent. So, on one hand, yes. If you just take it on the face value that, like, this is all, But realize that not every article is written by the same person. There's two different people, and they could be sharing different opinions. They're like, oh, Clements wrote this article, and then McCarthy wrote this other one. So there is bound to be inconsistencies in that regard. And then also, Giant Gorg specifically is one of the articles that they've isolated. I don't know if it was either in this book or in the ANN podcast that I listened to, where they cite that Fred Patton maybe, I don't remember which one, a different person very specifically was like, this article is an ad, please let me write it for you. And they're like, sure. And so they let him do it. They just let him have that one. So there's a likelihood with how many of the people they thank in terms of like helping them with research and there's acknowledgements and for sundry help and advice, it's all of these other people, all these people. Also publisher Peter Goodman for knowing a good thing when he saw it, both when we came to him with an original proposal, and a year later when we decided to write 160,000 extra words. So like there's a whole list of those people, and some of them could have written some of these articles, so that could also remain some inconsistencies. But you wouldn't have any inconsistencies if you didn't have any opinions in here to begin with. Interesting, And there's so many of these articles that don't give their opinion. Look how few reviews I wrote this time. I wrote a significant number of entries. There are so many of them that don't give their opinion, and they're good articles. Not because they don't give not specifically for that, but like in spite of that, saying like you didn't need to put your opinion to juice up the article or make it interesting. There's other ways you can talk about and review or give valuable information about these titles without just giving that sort of thing. It's alright if multiple people write different articles, but they should have an editor to check for consistency. That's just it, though. The editor's not there for that. The editor's going to try to check for spelling errors and like grammatical stuff, but like that's not their job to just police like, oh, they're going to be different opinions and stuff. They kind of just was like, yeah, that's fine, because they you can tell it's by different people, by the they say so, I guess. They may politically disagree with Golgo or something. I don't know what it is, but they seem to have some kind of subtitle bias that I can't really pin down. Just often comes off that way. Golgo has a lot of political stuff in it from what I remember. Maybe. I just think I'll give you their take on Golgo. One of the few Japanese comic characters to appear in a magazine that actually bears his name, Golgo remains a popular icon with a Japanese salaryman audience, like a comfortable pair of murderous slippers. It should hence come as little surprise that in straitened times, as producers fretted that the only real audience for anime was getting slightly older, he returned in a 50-part series on TV Tokyo, Golgo 13 2009, directed by Shunji Oga. Unfortunately, the sheer length of the series seemed to only accentuate the predictable and unchanging nature of Golgo's story arcs. With an unstoppable, unkillable, unchanging leading man who always wins, always is in italics, it offered little in the way of dramatic development, and clung to Saito's art style in a fashion that makes this anime series look considerably more dated than it actually is. Before his lower-budget anime outings, the assassin also appeared in... two live-action incarnations, Golgo 13 1973 and Golgo 13 Assignment Kowloon. They just don't like it. Let me just read their opening paragraph. Golgo 13, one of Japan's longest-running manga series, has been drawn by Takao Saito since 1969. Its unsmiling hero, Duke Togo, has never revealed anything about his past. Instead, he wanders the world and kills people for a living, a modern ronin with a codename constructed from purest evil, the unlucky number 13 and the first two syllables of Golgotha. An immense hit with middle-aged businessmen, Duke gets to travel the world, screw foreign chicks, and shoot unpleasant people. Although inspired by the James Bond films, he doesn't even pretend to be working for good. He is totally amoral. Yeah, they just don't like him. Fun fact, Ghost in the Shell bombed hard in Japan, as they saw it as a rehash of Shiro's earlier work Appleseed. The Oshi movie blowing up in the West is a big reason why it gets as a franchise at all. Yep, they do mention that. Subtle, okay. I kind of agree with some of the things about the TV series not having the best production. Kaiser Beam's made a good point in his Golgo review that if Saito gave Golgo a character arc, it would come off as forced, comparing it to the bad plot of Hitman Absolution. That's not a bad comparison. Because, right, I do think, really, it's not supposed to be about Golgo. It's supposed to be about the people around him, his target, and the situations he finds himself in. But it's not really about him, you know? But, like, the matter of him just always winning is kind of the concept. Right, exactly. Golgo 13 anime film has a lot flower arranging stuff. A lot of flower arranging stuff. Good to see you, Vintage Weeb. Not sure what you mean, though. I love that movie, personally. But I can understand why they don't. Because they're just like... They don't really complain about his directing, besides, like, the out-of-place CG. But he says, they say, Director Dazaki treats Duke's quest as a modern samurai adventure, with improbable leaps and slices replaced by improbable marksmanship and setups. He also experimented with blah, 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 blah. Yeah, and teaches you about the meaning of flowers. Zaki likes his detailed flowers. Yeah, I get you. Like, the series is supposed to be something where you read a story of it every once in a while. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so they liked all of them individually. And then they said that Goldfish Warning is a longtime fan favorite. It's not really their opinion. It's another instance where they kind of hint at a series' success or insuccess based on its financial success or like commercial success, basically, or that fans really like it. But that doesn't really say much, right? Because I think almost every anime has its fans. You know what I mean? Oh, like flower language. Yeah. Okay. All right. The negative reviews. Hanakotoba. Yes. Negatives. Girl Detective Club. Again, this is another one where like they're talking about the commercial success, but it turned out to be a lackluster affair because it didn't like go anywhere or something. Like it didn't perform financially well. Gold Lightan. This was so bizarre. Like this came out of left field. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Gold Lightarn. Let me read the synopsis, because then it makes sense why they said this. King Ibaldar of the Mecha Dimension sends alien invaders to attack Earth, not realizing that his enemies have already sent a champion to defend it. The invincible mecha superhero has joined forces with the 12-year-old boy hero, hiding unobtrusively inside his cigarette lighter. In times of trouble, he can use the lighter as a dimensional gate to call upon Gold Lightan's power to transform into a giant robot. With a heavy debt to the early Ultraman shows, Lightan and his 5-robot team, who hide inside lighters carried by other members of Hero's naughty rangers, like a Bic, a Zippo, etc., fight off the alien invaders in a mind-bogglingly inappropriate series that must have inspired teenage smokers and pyromaniacs all over Japan. A fine example of what can happen if a show's high concept is decided solely by the contents of the animator's pockets. And they're making it... I almost couldn't get that joke when they said that at first. And I'm like, what do you mean? Oh, they have lighters. The animators have lighters in their pockets. And they're like, oh, what if the lighters... I don't... Maybe that's how it came about, but that's so cynical to just judge like that and to make assumptions in that way. It's so annoying. and like, oh, mind-bogglingly inappropriate because of the premise. Are you really clowning on a fucking anime's premise? I mean, that's not new for them. They've done that before. But, that's so annoying. You know what I mean? Like, does it have anywhere that, like, the kids light stuff on? Are they pyromaniacs? Are they smokers? You don't say that according to this, synopsis. And, like, am I going to find that out for myself? Like, what the fuck? Finds a golden lighter, which turns out to be the giant warrior Gold Lyton, who has the mission to save Earth, joins forces, and destroy invading alien robots by using his surpassing hand and leg strikes. The robot is usually designed as a tiny gold Zippo-style lighter in Hero's pocket. When called upon, Gold Lyton transforms into a giant robot towering 30 meters and weighing 200 tons. All robots in the show are sentient and do not require pilots. Usually the robot ends a battle with a trademark golden hand stab move, which drives a hand strike, cutting the enemy robot's body, pulling out and smashing the heart box energy device. So it literally just goes... That's fucking raw. Like, that's so weird. Like, why complain about that? Merchandise in 2005. Wow. It's about Hong Kong stuff, I guess. Anyway, I don't know. That was just kind of annoying and judgmental for me. Gold Lyton. Will someone please think of the children? What? I really only know about Gold Lyton because of the Tatsunoko vs. Capcom. Might as well complain about the Flintstones because of those cigarette ads while they're at it. Yeah, they probably have. And then Golgo 13, predictable, offered little in the way of dramatic development, art style makes it look dated, embarrassing characterizations. And that's kind of a mix of both the movie and the show. I should put that. Golden Hammer. Mixed. I thought Geobreeders was mixed. It's predictably, at least I think it was mixed. It sounds like they kind of liked it. I really liked their article on Geobreeders, actually. It sounded like really energetic and like kind of positive and kind of selling you on it. Like, part of me really wishes that like these were more written by people who like the show and are writing it in a way that like entice you to watch it or understand the appeal. Because I think that's so important to just kind of get why people like it. You don't have to like it yourself, you know? Because, like, the opinion, there are bound to be people who agree and disagree with your opinion. But if you decide to target instead, why make this show? Why did people like it? Why was it successful? You know, instead of just being like, I liked it. I think it's one of the best anime movies available in English. You know? I don't know. What is popping, Cozy? Good to see you. Geobreeders. A disastrously incompetent supernatural security agency is called in to stop an epidemic of feline ghosts in this anime adaptation of Akihiro Ito's manga. Perhaps for legal reasons, the original File X prefix was dropped from the title for the US release, though Geobreeders owes just as great a debt to Scooby-Doo as it does to Mulder and Scully. 5 feisty females in a dilapidated mystery machine run rings around the show's squashed down Dukovny clone. I don't know what that is. Facing off against sulking military allies and a secret conspiracy. A predictably madcap mix of ghost-busting tomfoolery in the spirit of Phantom Quest Corps and Ghost Sweeper Mikami, complete with light-heartedly gratuitous tenuity, snappy dialogue, and some really big guns. Even distributors Manga Corps rise to the occasion for the US dub. Considering the output of their sister brand Anime 18, it must be a refreshing change for a voice actress to shout, "Get on your knees, pussies," to an audience that genuinely does consist of cats. Shit gags. Sight gags show a return of the Project Echo spirit from Chief Director Moriyama. Fake ads separate the episodes, characters must play soccer with hand grenades, and in one scene, someone backs into a giant poster for Geobreeders the movie. Though the series wasn't quite that successful, it did spawn the 4-part Geobreeders O2 on video in 2000, reuniting the staff under new director Shin Misawa. I don't know, there's just something about that just sounded really fun and interesting and didn't have their opinion about it. I mean, it kind of does, right? When it says a predictably madcap mix of ghost-busting tomfoolery. That may be a good thing. What you're saying makes me think of Chris Stuckman's anime book where he got fans of each anime to make each respective review. Yes! No, I'm absolutely, yeah. That is pretty much what I mean with it. Chris Stuckman's Anime Impact is the name of that book. I think that's really great. And I really like that, he did that and reached out to a bunch of other creators and gave them that platform and that support and got them to be published in a way. Bennett the Sage was especially really happy and proud about that. And good for him. I've heard of Geobreeders. It seems fun. Yeah. This does sound like a fun show. All right. Ghost in the Shell Innocence does much to enhance the anime's reputation, both for high-quality CG and impenetrably obtuse philosophical debates. A little Nick, I don't know if this is supposed to be a backhanded compliment. High-quality CG. I don't know if that's supposed to be a backhanded compliment. But then that's obviously kind of like, But it's a bit of just a poke and fun. I don't know. Ghost Sweeper Mikami, they were mixed on. It has all the lighthearted adventure and sex appeal of Urusei Yatsura, and it might have performed Ranma 1/2. It has cheap animation. Its cheap animation style will probably lead it to date faster. It already looks slightly older. I thought the movie looked awesome. I really liked the style of the movie. It looked very 90s. It's from the 90s. I'm like, what do you expect? I don't know. I really want to watch Ghost Sweeper Mikami. And then Gigolo, I thought they were mixed on because they say it's better plotted than most porn, but it rivals Golgo in juvenile take on sex and crime, and also, abuse of women or something. Bizarre that it was. I like it's like it's bizarre that it wasn't made as a gay anime like Fake. I just really like the phrase. Oh, why wasn't it made into a gay anime? You know what I mean? It's just really funny. Looked up Geobreeders on Malin. Apparently, it's already in my plan to watch. Isn't that how it is? Isn't that always how it goes? It was probably that. It probably was in the day. I don't know why, but Geobreeders reminds me of that one Gainax OVA series. KO Beast? Let me look it up. Aww! Oh my god, that looks like so much fun! The poster! Guys, the poster! If you've not seen this... This looks like so much fucking fun! Wow! So cool! Who is she? Who is she? Hell yeah! That's great. And then there's a sequel. Cool. Man, that's neat. Anyway. It's titles like that, right? I'm really looking forward when I inevitably make this video. Let's hope. Oh my god. That all of these anime are just so interesting. I've never heard of them. It was really cool. Can you watch the Ghost Sweeper Making Me movie without having seen the anime, or will you be lost? I did, and I had a good time. I don't even remember why I watched the movie. I think I saw a GIF of it and then was just like, fuck it, I want to watch it right now. And I just did. And I loved it. I actually gave it a grade, my highest rating. I really liked it. It was a really great standalone movie. It is one of those things where, like, all the cast show up and stuff, like, and they already know each other and whatever. But you can catch on really quick. And it has a kind of a nice contained plot. And it was fun. Very reminded me of Yu Yu Hakusho, too. It's a good time. Yeah, KO Beast. Been meaning to watch Mikami for a while ever since I played the series SNES game. I know it's pretty popular in Spanish-speaking territories as well. I think TV Tropes has a page on GeoBreeders if you guys are looking for more information. Nice. I don't know if I'll check out TV Tropes, but thanks. No, don't mean to clown on you. Okay, spoilers. They don't spoil Get a Robo. What the fuck? It's like one of the only anime where I can like kind of understand why you would put spoilers in it, because it was kind of a big deal of what happens in the first, and they don't. All they say is that the robot is destroyed by the end of the first series, and that's why they have to make Get a Robo G. But they don't mention that fucking Musashi died. Sorry for spoilers for Get a Robo, but I think it's important you know, and I mentioned in the in my Grown Logan video as well. But like, that's such a huge deal. And like, I'll get to fucking Get a Robo with odd choices. Like, there's some. It was such a weird article. Oops. Well, no spoilers. It's a miracle. That was the one time I was like expecting spoilers and would be like, yes. See, that's what I mean. And of course they don't. They're spoiling everything else. It's like, why? It's so annoying. I need a mild refresher on Gets Movie 2, but I remember having a fun time. I appreciate it. I kind of respect Oshii for it. It was one of those series where, like, I don't care as much about Ghost in the Shell, and I thought the first movie's fine. So the second movie I actually really appreciated as something different and kind of, like, weird. Even if I could not follow it. It was over my head. It was still really gorgeous, interesting. It's an Oshii movie. But yet it was attached to a franchise I didn't care as much about. Whereas, like, Palabra 2, kind of annoyed of the ways he messed with that series. Urusei 2, kind of pissed how he messed with that series. In a sense, I could give a fuck. That's fine. I think Gits is fine. Anyway. Yeah, so they give a lot away about Gits 95. They kind of give pretty much all of it away by the end. Gigantor and Tetsujin, they say in the last 13 episodes, such and such happens. Although that was another case where I think it was actually a positive that they mentioned that, because you would never have known that otherwise. Because it's such a long and old anime that you wouldn't know that it takes this kind of different turn in the last chunk. I think that's interesting. So I like that about it. Gone the Fox, it gives away the ending, but it just, I guess it was needed. It was one of the things where it's like, yeah, you want to say it's a tragedy, so you kind of want to say what happens and things like that. I get it. But they pretty much give away the whole movie in that case. And then Goodbye Little Hippo, it was cut from the 3rd edition, but they give away the ending, basically. Sorry. I like the mind labyrinth and the robots as a narcissistic child of man metaphor. I'm not sure which one you're referring to. I'm also having a hard time remembering Innocence. A mind labyrinth of robots as a narcissistic child of man. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't even... I didn't even know what you were talking about. And then I'm like, oh, yeah. No, it's whatever. All right, so I did want to get to the good ones first. Again, GeoBreeders, I just read it. It's a good. And there's a sense of energy and enthusiasm to it. I like Gigantor specifically for this World War II subplot that was being kept from him by the licensors. That's such an interesting point. And then Godaiken. This was an article in the 1st edition. And it was one of the only ones that it wasn't an anime. It was actually something else. And it's similar to their biographies that they've put in the 3rd edition. And I want to read this one because I've never heard of it. I thought it was really interesting. Ugh, so much. Where is it? Okay. Godaiken. This is not an anime show. It is the name for the U.S. release or re-release of a line of die-cast and plastic toys from Bandai and its subsidiary company, Poppy. In Japan, the toy line was well known as DX Chogoki. Chogokin. Chogokin. Was known as Dietz Chogokin. Chogokin being a term coined by Go Nagai to describe the metal used to build Mazinger Z. The Godaiken Chogokin range. They say in Karikano, there's a scene where I forgot her name, the girl. She does like the Shinji from the OP where he looks up like that. It does the exact same shot. It's drawn very similarly, and then she goes like Chogoki, and then the subs are like Unit 1. It's funny. Chogoki. I still don't get why people feel like Your Satsura 2 is out of character. Don't make me make that video, Panda Man. It's been like a year and a half, but I really don't remember feeling anything without a character in that film. I'll come back when I'm not irresponsible at work. Fair enough. The VOD will also be here for you, and so I appreciate you stopping by. Let me keep reading about Godaiken. The Godaiken Chogokin range consisted of a mix of robots from both live-action Sentai and anime shows, but only the anime robots included are listed here. The Godaiken range included Tetsujin 28, God Sigma, Guardian, see Champion of Gordian, Daltanius, Golion, Combatra, or Combatler V, Voltes V, Dancougar, Lasurion, and Abega from Lightspeed Electron Arbegus. The range enjoyed a Japanese revival in the late 1990s with a range of high-end die-cast toys for the collector market entitled Soul of Chogokin. That's really great. I really liked that like Lasurion, Dancougar, this show Arbegus, God Sigma, Daltanius, Guardian, Golion. All of these were like able to be put into this one kind of group. Lasurion, I think, if I didn't mention it already. Although I was surprised that you have Combatler V and Voltes V, but not Deimos. That was interesting. That's not those three of the Nagahama's robot trilogy. But Nagahama did work on Daltanius. So, and that's kind of always been like the weird fourth one that he also directed kind of thing. But in this regard, the Godaiken line, those three are the trilogy, as well as like a whole bunch of these other ones. So I thought that was really interesting. I really appreciated that article. Let's look at the ones I'm now interested in. There is Geobreeders, and then there's another one called Ghosts. I'm gonna make sure there's no way I'm gonna find it on Mal like that. You can't fucking fool me. Let's see. Of course, there's a lot of results for Ghosts. Come on, there was one that's just called Ghosts. There we go. Okay, Obake. Let's see if it shows up. Doubt it. From 1982. Not here. Let's do Obake 1982 anime. Oh, wait, Kyutaro? Wait, what? An omnibus. So Ghost is an omnibus of 4 ghost stories from famous directors. I only have heard of one of them. Gisabu Usugi, I've heard of. Then there's also Yasunori Kawauchi, Tameo Ogawa, and Tsutomu Shibayama. That's so weird. But it's 85 minutes. Why is it... Why? Why? Let's do, AIC? I mean, Anime International Company is the thing that they did. TV series. This is a TV special. Specials. No. Okay, come on. Come on. 82. Oh, release start date. Okay. No OVAs. What? Huh? Alright, it's not showing up. Okashi. I gotta put the chat up. Geobreeders was a fun little OVA. Try Japanese Wikipedia. Yeah, if I could. I don't know what the kanji is that they use. Wait, right here. Oh, for fuck's sake, it's one of these things. What the hell? Yude Obake. So if I do Obake 1982. Anime. Anime. Obake no Hori. Can you please try? Come on. Story blocks. Oh, what the fuck? Spooky. I have to put the chat over here. I found a 96 episode series in the 60s with that name on Mal. Look up AIC on Japanese Wikipedia. Shapes, do you have Discord? Yeah. I can, you just DM me for it. I'll try to remember. I can send it to you. Yeah. Jeez. Did I, may have come back and back on. I'm sorry. Am I on still? Okay. I have to... Sorry. It says it's from 80... Okay, 1000 Thunderbirds Techno Voyager? That's not it. It's not even on the Japanese wiki. What the fuck? Why does this always happen? Why does this always happen? It's not fair, dude. There we go. But it's not even from 90. It's from 91. Ugh. What is that? Whatever. Never gonna watch it anyway. That is so frustrating. Ghosts. I wish they said more about this title. Because I can't find anything. Why do they do that, man, all the time? I put that included. I was like, I can't find anything. The girl with the white flag. Let's... I actually put the the kanji in here for not the kanji, the you know what I mean. It's, gotta be kidding. Come on! I put the whole thing in. Are you kidding me? Why doesn't it show up? Oh, it does down there. Holy shit. Oh, there we go. Let me read the synopsis of this. Of course, it's from the Anime Encyclopedia, because... Oh my gosh. Why is it always the case that the ones I pull out, they're like, that sounds interesting. Nobody's seen. Fuck me. In 1945, American troops land on the island of Okinawa. The Japanese fight a guerrilla war against the invaders, and little Ryoko is forced to leave her grandparents behind and flee with her mother and younger sister, who are eventually killed. Ryoko heads alone across the war-torn island. Eventually, she reaches the safety in Japanese-occupied caves, only to witness the Japanese troops committing suicide with hand grenades. Based on a children's book by Akira Aratagawa and Hikuji Norima, itself inspired by real American footage of an Okinawan girl, Tomiko Higa, waving a white flag at the island's surrender. Oh my gosh. Oh! Oh, is this like Lost Media or some shit? Oh my goodness. Interesting. Wow. Of course this happens every goddamn time. I'd like to join one of your Discord too. You were still on, yeah. That disconnect wasn't just me, maybe it's an alternate name. I've heard about that White Flag book. Hey, my mom was born in Okinawa. Oh, sweet. But yeah, oh yeah, and of course that's the only image of it. Sheesh. Why does this happen? All the time. That's so it's comedic at this point. I know how to pick them. I just know how to pick them. Very deep fried footage. Okay. Back to the notes. We're going to go to odd choices. The oddest of choices. Getarobo. So they name Ryoma, Musashi, and Benkei as the three pilots. No mention of Hayato. Not once. The entire time. They are dead positive. If you don't know, Benkei is the replacement pilot from Musashi who dies at the end of the original series. No wonder they couldn't spoil it. They didn't even know. They haven't even seen it. It's because they couldn't find a title to connect his name to? This is interesting. Because they were like, oh yeah, Ryoma, like this 19th century warrior. See this anime for that. You know? And they do that for Musashi and for Benkei. But not for Hayato, apparently. I guess there's no famous 19th century character that they could link it back to. Yeah. Nobly named Ryoma, see Oi Ryoma. Musashi, see Young Miyamoto Musashi. And Benkei, see Benkei versus Ushikawa. To pilot the three vehicles, blah 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 blah. No mention of Hayato. Anyway. I could see it being either being Musashi or Benkei, but like, what the fuck? Well, someone needs to update the Lost Media Wiki. God damn it, please, no! Why did two of them? That's the most obscure thing! I'm so mad. Ugh, forget it. They say Getter's the first Transformer. And I do say that in my Gurren Lagann video too, but in my Gurren Lagann video I also happen to mention, I'm like, I don't care, still don't care, that Zero Tester came out before Getarobo and also has a transforming mecha. Like the machines combined into a giant robot. And their article for Zero Tester does mention that their machines combine too. So I guess they just forgot. But it's colloquially known as the first Transformer. That's the Getter's claim to fame type of thing. Even though also Mazinger also is combining, but it's with multiple pilots. That's the key thing. But then Zero Tester also has multiple pilots. I mean, maybe not. Maybe that's not the case. But anyway, Highest was the weirdest one not to include, TBH. To be fair, Get a Robo has never had a proper full adaptation. No, although they say something later that, like, I think they kind of assume that it's a full adaptation. They say, okay, Get a Robo Go's anime was considered a non-canonical flop. And there's no mention as to why it was made, which is to promote Ishikawa's Go manga, which was, by all accounts, canon. Like, the manga itself was canon. The anime simply follows the same looseness as the original anime. It's the same case as, like, Devilman or something, where it's not like an adaptation per se. They just did something else. But it has its own manga. Like, the original anime does do some beats, including that big beat at the end. Although I don't even know if they kill him off in that one. I'm pretty sure they do. But yeah. But, like, it's 50 episodes versus a 5-volume manga. Like, of course they're not. It's gonna be completely different. It's a loose adaptation. Non-canonical flop. Like, flop, maybe I can argue, because it's not many people know about it. Probably for a reason. It's definitely not as good as the original, as the actual manga. It's trying to base on. And then, I have never seen this before, or I've never caught it happening before. I mean, it could have happened sometime, but, like, I'm not the forefront knowledge of anime of all time or something. But this is the first time I've noticed where they did not update the 3rd edition with a new entry. There is no mention anywhere of New Get a Robo from 2004, which I'm pretty sure is a TV series, isn't it? Or is it an OVA too? New Getter. No, it's an OVA, I'm sorry. But still, like, they didn't even... That is so bizarre, right? I couldn't believe that. Getter is one of the most one that popularized the multiple pilots and multiple robots. Absolutely, it popularized, and that's that's pretty much what I say in my current Loggo video. That's like, it doesn't matter. It's still the one that really is that started the mainstay, but it's not the first technically. And that's what I mean when I'm talking about, like, who gives a fuck if Instant History is the first anime on TV if it didn't change the game. Get a Robo changed the game. Astro Boy changed the game. Zero Tester, who gives a fuck? You know? Wow, the White Flag Girl anime seems to be the second Satoshi Dezaki movie I come across that doesn't have have official physical release. Was the first one Marine Express? So I'm pretty sure Marine Express didn't have an official physical release. Well, maybe a Japanese one, but I'm pretty sure it's it's not been localized or anything. Satoshi, or maybe it did. I don't know. Damn. Satoshi made a lot of really obscure anime, where he tried to copy his brother's style. If he was trying, he was doing really bad, because I've never, ever watched a Satoshi Dezaki anime and thought, wow, this is almost like Osamu Dezaki. No, not a single time. Not even close. Ghost in the Shell. Unlike the many anime movies that are really nothing of the sort, it was genuinely made for the big screen, and the budget and dedication really show. I just didn't like this. I just don't really like putting down a bunch of it, like the majority of anime unlike many anime movies. Like, sure. What if they were? What if they really were trying to be like cinematic and they were in movie theaters? You're just gonna I don't know, just like put a bunch of them down like that? Like, that's so annoying to me. Ghost in the Shell does not need that. The praise, it's the best anime you can get in English, is enough. You don't need to put a bunch of other anime down to do this. It's like bullying. It was genuinely made for the big screen. And the budget, you know what I mean? I'm starting to wonder about that. And dedication really showed. Anime's hard. I'm sorry. The dedication really, like, it's a really well put together movie. They did really well. It was a success. You can word it that way, but like the dedication, wow, really works out that time. I don't know. I just don't like the phrasing of this personally. Aterui was the other one. I've seen pictures of DVDs of it, but those were apparently DVD-R. Oh. Anyway, Giant Robo. For the third for some reason I put this over here. Oh, this is supposed to be in changes, not in odd choices. I'm sorry. That's why I wasn't here. Gigantor. Yeah, and the Giant Robo for the 3rd edition, they also added the synopsis to all 3 Genbei spin-offs. For some reason, I don't know why, they just like, they include them in the 1st edition, and then they just like, this is what really happens in the in these spin-off OVAs. It's like, okay. Most because those Satoshi OVAs tend to have somber plots and use postcard memories a lot. I actually don't remember postcard memories all that much. That's what I'm actually talking, like, camera angles, split screens, 3 triple take, slow motion, dynamic lighting, use of sound. Like, what exactly? Like, he directed Cypher the video, and I love it. So, I'm not saying he's shit, necessarily. But him being his brother, I really don't see. But they feel like a superficial and shallow replica of Dazaki's style. But that's, you know, it's tough. Because Dazaki's stuff has been replicated a lot. His stuff really did fundamentally influence the vast majority of television anime. There's so many techniques that you see in all genres and in all different studios and all that stuff. It's part of the lexicon. You know, he had such an impact in that way. I don't know where I was going with that. Minky Momo. I try not to. One of the rules here that I put for myself, but I haven't really been like. Not a lot of it's been really, been that big of a deal as much as I thought it would be. No on-stream Googling. We aren't looking to viciously fact check. Yeah, I'm not trying to viciously fact check, but I need to double check things. Okay. And there's no scrutinizing of misspellings, terminology, staff listing, and what's absent. So the what's absent part, it hasn't happened that often, really. But I will say, I was a little bummed that my favorite Minky Momo OVA is not mentioned at all. No Bridge of Dreams. That was too bad. We only cover within the parameters set by the schedule. Anyway. Glory. Okay, wait. Hey Shaves, are you going to see Pompo the Cinephile in theaters this April? I didn't know it was being in theaters this April. That'd be cool. Maybe. I wouldn't mind it. I am interested in that movie. Noticed you were streaming and just popped in to see what's up. I'll probably rewind later. Yeah, good to see you, Austin. And all the VODs are usually up. I usually keep the VODs public. Although maybe I shouldn't with my channel. I don't know. Satoshi produced Cypher. He didn't direct it. Oh, okay. There was that thing, right, where it was his brother, but like Mal and these other sites said it was Osamu Dazaki. Wait, Shaves, you've seen Minky Momo? I saw Rondo in my dreams, and I saw Bridge of something. Fuck me. I don't even know if it's called Bridge of Dreams. Let me see. You may know, yeah, LaRonda in my dream, and then Yumeni Kakeruhashi, Bridge Over Dreams. Bridge Over Dreams is amazing. Fucking phenomenal. I don't remember anything about LaRonda. I thought it was good, though, apparently. I wrote that it was good. Yeah. But I haven't seen the series, no. I do have it downloaded, though, raw. But I think people have been trying to work on it subbed, so that's good. Yeah. That was just weird. It was too bad they didn't mention it. Glory to the Ancestors. So they have it listed as Glory to the Ancestors. It's Gosenso-sama Banbanzai, which is what most people know it by. And it's bizarrely curt. Like, let me read their article on this. And you guys are familiar with Gosenso-sama Banbanzai? I have not seen it yet, but I've heard plenty of amazing, incredible things about it. I'm very looking forward to it. I also know that it's sort of like, it's set in a way that it looks like a stage play, and there's some really interesting aspects about it, right? Maruko, a girl from the future, decides to learn more about her ancestors and travels back in time to modern Japan, only to discover that they are a sorry single-parent family, struggling to make ends meet without mother around. She tries to help out, and soon runs afoul of the Time Police, a show that mixes homespun situation comedy with the chronological goings-on of Doraemon. It was re-edited with some extra footage and re-released as the 90-minute movie Maruko from 1990. They don't mention that it was directed by Mamoru Oshii or written by Mamoru Oshii with music by Kenji Kawai and designs by Satoru Utsunomiya. Even though they do have that in the blurb here, right? But they don't call attention to it. So, like, what the what the fuck? Never mind, like, no one knows it as Glory to the Ancestors, so it's going to be like, what is that? Bridge Over Dreams is a delight. I have the collector's edition DVD from Japan. Oh, awesome. Fun fact, the lead writer of Mickey Mouse was also the lead writer of the early episodes of Pokemon and wrote the first 3 films. Oh, nice. Gosenso Banzai OVA series is great. Yeah, it's awesome. I just, like, I think they totally dropped the ball on it. It's not awful. It's not like their worst article, but I just was like, that's it? That's all you're going to fucking say about it? I don't think they saw it. I think if they saw it, they would have actually had something to say about it. That was really too bad. Anyway. God Mars. Same with director Yuyama. God Mars. Let me put back in my notes. God Mars, they, oh, sorry. I keep doing this. I did this for some reason. God Mars, they added a sentence from the 2002 remake, and then Gokudo, they removed the subtitle Swordsman Extraordinaire. Let me just put that in there. Yeah, whatever. And then I mentioned the Gold Lighton thing. Goldfish warning. I'm so pissed. I was just like, you have got to be kidding me. A fine surreal visuals and designs that presaged the most abstract moments of director Ikuhara's later Utena. Do you guys know about Goldfish Warning? Do you know who directed Goldfish Warning? Not Kuniku Ikuhara, as it would be implied here. And it doesn't look like it contradicts. They say that that this other person directed. Yeah. But they also list 2 other people, including Ikuhara, as part of the... Even though Ikuhara episode directed 9 episodes out of 50, as well, several other people episode directed as well, some of them more than Ikuhara, but Ikuhara's a big name. You know who did direct Goldfish Warning? Junichi fucking Sato. What the fuck? Literally twice this week. Once from that fucking... If you guys saw Digest with, like, the Sailor Moon video, I was like, why don't you mention Junichi Sato? And again, it's like they're making it think it's like, oh, it kind of looks like Utena or Sailor Moon, the show they made right after Goldfish Warning with most of the same staff, including the director. What are you, new? This is amateur hour? Fuck. What the fuck? How hard is that? Is he not a big enough name that he directed Sailor fucking Moon? I'm about to watch a Goldfish Warning because I finished Sailor Moon. I'm watching Dr. Flanders as a breather. Nice. God, come on. So mad. Why would you say that? Fuck. Not like anyone is fucking finding Goldfish Warning in this book. To be like, ooh, Tina, I guess I'll check it out. Not like you can, because it only just got finished fan subs last year. Or the year before, or whatever. It took a decade. So annoying. Whatever. I'm over it. Good morning, Althea. It took more than one person to come up with that plot. Cool. And then Gouche the Cellist. Another one that was just so weirdly curt. And they don't mention that Takahata directed it at all. That's the only reason I know about it. How come you don't mention that? They made it sound like totally just whatever. Let me read their article on it. Gouche the Cellist. A mediocre cellist is forced to practice late at night and dreams that he is visited by talking animals. A cat, cuckoo, badger, and field mouse each offer their opinions on his music and keep him company during the lonely sessions. But later on, Gouche discovers that his music, while terrible to human ears, has been healing sick animals all around the neighborhood. The knowledge that even his ability does some good brings heart and soul to his music, and improves his performance the next time he faces a human audience. Though most likely to be known in the West through the striking 1982 film, the story was first animated in 1949. This striking 1982 film, I should put that because they call it striking. Gouche. The story was first animated in 1949 as a 19-minute short directed by Keiji Tanaka and based originally on a short story by Night Train to the Stars creator Kenji Miyazawa. The story was animated a third time for the classic children's tale series in 1992 as a 30-minute stop-motion short released straight to video. And that's it. I just thought that was so weird. I thought Kunichi Okuhara directed seasons 3 and 4 and assistant director for the first 2 seasons. Yeah, for like Sailor Moon. But then Genie, but like they just reference Utena. That's the only other title they mention in Goldfish Warning. They don't mention Sailor Moon whatsoever. But yeah, like he worked on Goldfish Warning on some episodes, as well as Takeru Igarashi did one episode, and then Junichi Sato directs the whole thing. Very similar as then the next year afterwards, Toei, 1992, much of the same staff. I would have to look more into like animation director and stuff, but like, yeah. Wow, Goldfish Warning got a Japanese Blu-ray release? Oh, that'd be great. Hopefully, I wonder if they improve the audio. I thought it looked pretty good. The video quality that we had was pretty okay. When I group watched it. Junichi Sato directed the first row seasons. Junichi Sato? You mean the Kimama ni Idol director? Yeah. If they knew Takahata directed it, it would have been gotten a bigger article. They did know. That's the thing. They have it listed, director Isao Takahata. They do know. But they just don't say anything. It was sort of weird. Ikuhara directed most of R2. Yeah. I mean, Toei also did the Candy Candy movie in 92. Oh, yeah. Like, they have their hands in multiple things. But, like, let me look at the, So, one of the animation directors, music, art director. Yeah. So, 91, he's on there as animation director. And he doesn't really work. He works on Sailor Moon S, but that's about it. But he's, just generally working at Toei. Major animation director with Yume Crayon, though. And Otomaja Doremi. That's neat. Yeah, Precure and all that. Nice. For some reason, you just skipped out on Sailor Moon a lot. That's interesting. So, Arisawa Takamori. There's music for Goldfish Warning. And then there's music for Sailor Moon. And Sailor Moon R. The movie, Sailor Moon S. Yeah, he did the music for both of them. As well as Yume Crayon. And then Digimon. Nice. And then he stopped. Damn, that's too bad. Fuck, because he passed away in 2005. Fuck. Fuck. That sucks. Damn it, dude. What a good line. That sucks. He could have probably worked on the Precure music, but he didn't. He didn't get there. That sucks. And then Takamura Mukuro. Holy shit. Passed away in 1992. Shit. Wow. I'm liking this. Thank you for whoever's. Wow. Wow. Nice. 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 Yeah, art director, art design. 92, art direction. Art director. Yeah, art director, art design, supervision. He did work on the first... Yeah. Even though he did pass away in 92. Damn. Maybe they found out Takahata directed it after they wrote the article? I don't know. Death is cringe. Yeah, I reacted the same way I found out about the composer. I really liked Junichi Sato's Kaleido Star. It was a solid show. Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting into that one too. I've heard very good things about it. Yeah, it's just super frustrating. I think that's everything. Did I mention? Yeah, that's all of it. Dang. Well, that's about it. What I got so far. Next week we'll see how farther I can get. Hopefully the end of G, but we'll see. You know, working on a big Naruto video now and things like that. Hard. I already sunk too much, you know. I'm already this far into it, you know what I mean? But we're still going through it. But really appreciate you guys showing up, and especially every week, a lot of you guys, the same group of people, and it's always a nice time. I always feel good doing these streams when I'm doing them, and then it's always like kind of the outside factor. I'm like, no one really cares, and it doesn't matter all that much, and things like that. But I'm happy this is, you know, making it worth it, and then all the good times we've been having. I think I really like Junichi Sato's Watcha Primagi. Good thing they make a new episode every week. Hell yeah. But if there's anything from G you want me to read in full or curious about, doesn't have to be in G, because usually we don't even get that many people you know, interested in anything I mentioned here or whatever. Yeah, let me know. I like these streams, like being here. Look at the bright side, having a smaller stream means less infighting. True! And I get to actually talk with every individual person and read each comment. The first stream I did, the very first time I streamed, was that Digest AniTube tier list. And that was just such a big deal because it was my first time streaming, and 1 year anniversary, and it was a hot topic. So I even got rated by Nux once, and sent a bunch of people my way, kind of rated it in a way. Uh, so that was nice, but I do like the pace of this, and the occasional person popping in has been the fun. Uh, do they have Generation of Chaos? Let's find out. I am typing in Generation of Chaos. 0 results. Sorry. Nice relaxed stream. Yeah, true. Gundam Seed. Well, of course they're going to mention Gundam Seed. Let's see if they say anything about it. Because they're probably just going to be like, and then Gundam Seed. Okay. The next TV series in the franchise was Mitsuru Fukuda's Gundam Seed and its sequel, Gundam Seed Destiny, set in yet another continuity, termed the Cosmic Era. Much of the intrigue, however, is the same old story, with Earth squaring off against Zaft, the Zodiac Alliance of Freedom Territory, using prototype pilotable robots. Gundam Seed made it swiftly to America, but in a format that led to the controversial kidifying of some elements. As with Case Closed, the show was squeezed into slots aimed at a younger audience than it really warranted, causing producers to alter sequences of brief nudity and to add laser light effects to weapons, a move lampooned by irate fans as the creation of disco guns. The Seed titles also gained several spin-offs, including a compilation of key moments in Special Edition, as well as several manga side stories under the Astray label. Astray label. And the spin-off Gundam Seed Stargazer, directed by Susumu Nishizawa, which premiered online in 3 15-minute bursts. The story continues to be constantly revised through novels, manga, games, and other spin-offs. These have included the live-action game Gundam 009, Genocyber, blah blah blah. I think that's as much as I say about Seed. I know this is kind of memey, but what does it say about Mars of Destruction? Let's find out if they have it. No results. Wonder what that. When did it come out? It came out in 2005, so they should have had it. Hametsu no Mars, perhaps? Let's find out. Hametsu no Mars? No results. Oh well. Did they talk about Goddamn? They did. They didn't really mention much of it. That was a short one. Come on, I know you have that one. There we go. Goddamn. The Seiyu Racing Team enters the world-famous Safari Rally, led by Japanese hero Totahara and his American navigator Rob Lowe. Rob Lowe has like a parentheses with a exclamation point. Based on the 1988 big comic manga by Area 88 creator Kaoru Shintani. The 2-part series was unnumbered, but G Survivor Chaser is the first, followed by G Go Ahead. That's it. Generation of Chaos might be under the Japanese name. I have to know what the Japanese name is. Let's find Generation of Chaos. Chaos! I mean... A Generation of Chaos, so the Japanese name is literally that in Japanese. Generation of Chaos. So, it would definitely be in here. Don't think it's... Oh my gosh, 3.14 on Mal. Hell you guys wanted me to look up? Sheesh. How about Yamato 2199? Star Blazers, you mean? They have it listed as Star Blazers, of course. It's a big one because they're mentioning all the movies and shit. Oh my goodness. It's a big one. I don't think they mentioned the new one. The last one is like in its much trumpeted designs for the video series Yamato 2520 from 1995. In recent years, the story has remained in the headlines largely through the acrimonious court battle that has raged between the two men claiming to be its creators. This seems to stem from their conflicting ideas of who was responsible for what in the original, with producer Yoshinobu Nishizaki claiming that the series was his idea, and artist Leiji Matsumoto counterclaiming that while the extant TV versions may belong to Nishizaki, it is he who has the right to make his own new versions. The court battle faded from view, particularly after Nishizaki's incarceration for several years on a cocktail of guns and weapons charges and parole violations. Ultimately, Nishizaki's death appears to have laid matters to rest after an epic battle longer than the Argo's original mission. In a moment of historical irony, he died falling from his own boat. The Yamato, a cruiser that was the source of his insistence through many a romanization, although frustratingly not all, that the Senkan of the Japanese title should be translated as the technically inaccurate cruiser. Yeah, no 2199. Gunslinger Girl? Nice stream. I like listening to it while playing Elden Ring. Thank you so much, Protocol Tarati. I really appreciate that. Gunslinger Girl. Let's check it out. Gunslinger Garu. I'll just see if they have an opinion on it. I don't need to give you the whole blurb. The series also revisits many of the tried and tested character cliches of modern anime, including Riko, a consumptive girl whose trauma was constant hospitalization, and Henrietta, an innocent whose childhood was brought to a brutal end by the murder of her family. Mental trauma also provides a foundation for subplots that present the girls as submissive blank slates in the style of Chobits. Some of their handlers treat them like machines to be dispatched to perform tasks, while others try to befriend them, taking them on outings that, to the cynical, might bear a close resemblance to the seduction of damaged goods in less mainstream works such as the Lolita anime. Beethoven's Ninth Symphony, an anime favorite since Evangelion, looms large as a musical factor at the end of the show, preceded by a manga by Yu Aida in Dengeki Go Monthly, and followed by a second season, GGL Trino. A little judgmental of the premise, but didn't really seem to go into it, unfortunately. Gundam Seed should have aired on Adult Swim. It had too much violence for the main network, and Case Clothes aired past midnight. Don't know what they're talking about. Weird. It's good. Watch the HD remaster of Seed. How about Urusei Only You? I only just watched the movie. Only You, fun film. Despite not being that popular here, Gundam Seed is one of the most popular Gundams in Japan. A lot of female fans of Seed. Yeah, the Yamato ship was good to be an asteroid ship. Was going to be an asteroid ship. Seed is still the best-selling anime on Blu-ray in Japan. Yep, even better than Bakemonogatari? Even better than the horse anime? Urusei Yatsura. There are 78 mentions. Not as many as I was expecting, actually. At least they don't translate it as them pesky aliens. Those obnoxious aliens. Let's see. The movies and videos are all variations on the same theme, love and the crazy deceptions we play in its name. The first two movies are directed by Ghost in the Shell's Mamoru Oshii and designed by Kazuo Yamazaki. Only You introduces another alien fiancé for Ataru and shows Lum's desperate attempts to save him from walking to the altar with Elle, a girl who rules a planet with decor straight out of a rose-strewn Harlequin fantasy. In The Surreal Beautiful Dreamer, the characters are caught up in Ataru's recurring dream, enabling Oshii to play with perceptions of reality within the conventional format of a romantic comedy. Yamazaki moved up to direct Remember My Love with character designs by Takada. This tale of trans-dimensional love, obsessive love, and the line between childhood and adulthood remains, for all its lunatic wrappings, such as Ataru transformed into a pink hippo and a Bradbury-esque nightmare circus that later showed up in Neo Tokyo and Sailor Moon, the purest sci-fi story ever achieved by the Urusei Yatsura team.
Lum the Forever was again directed by Yamazaki and designed by Takada, with Dirty Pair's Dokite directing the animation. The gang is making a film with Lum as the star, but all the surrounding activity, including the cutting down of an ancient cherry tree, has awakened a curse that may change their lives forever and lead to the loss of the things they value most. Urusei, the final chapter, puts the romantic boot on the other foot. Instead of Aotrou running after some cute girl, Lum is carried off by an alien hunk named Lupa, to whom, it appears, her grandfather promised her in marriage when she was still a baby. Neither Aotrou nor Carla, Lupa's girlfriend, is pleased, and the chaos culminates in yet another game of tag to decide the fate of the Earth. Dazaki directed Konparu's screenplay with designs by Shibuchi. Typically, the final chapter wasn't. The last Urusei movie was actually... Why do they just suddenly say Dazaki like that? Who directed the 5th movie? Hold on. It's not just... They just say Dazaki out of fucking nowhere, didn't they? Yeah, Dazaki directed Konparu's screenplay with designs by Shibuchi. Dazaki? Satoshi Dazaki. God damn it! Don't do that to me again! The only thing I remember about Seed was the awesome GBA fighting game. Thanks, Gunslinger Girl is Chobits confirmed. Yeah. Yeah. How about Voltage Fighter Gao Kaiser? I'm just gonna look up Voltage Fighter. Yeah, they do have an article on that. Isato Kaiza's athletic skills have won him a place at the Belnar Institute, a school for those with some outstanding gift. And this being an Obari anime, all the female students have at least 2. But the Institute's mysterious founder has a hidden agenda. He is using the arcane power of his Kaiser Stones to control his students by giving them superhuman fighting skills, while he is controlled by a beautiful, seemingly female, but definitely inhuman entity. Isato's friend, Kash, has given him a Kaiser Stone, and with it the power to transform into an armored hero, Gao Kaiser. He learns that just about everyone else he knows has similar powers of transformation. Alas, the script doesn't. It starts with some interesting ideas, but many never develop. A subplot about incest between a brother and sister at school is well developed, largely because it provides an excuse for more sex and fighting. Another, about a teacher's involvement in the government's attempts to keep an eye on things at the Institute, is more or less ignored because it doesn't. Period. What? Another, about a teacher's involvement in the government's attempt to keep an eye on things in the Institute, is more or less ignored because it doesn't. The interesting relationship between the founder and his control remains unexplained. Perhaps the plan was to take all these ideas further if the video had spun off into a TV series, but it never happened. Based on a computer game, although it only uses some of the characters, with plenty of action and plenty of Obari's trademark fan service, Gao Kaiser remains just another beat-em-up with fantasy tropes thrown in. The videos were also edited into a feature-length Gao Kaiser movie. Weren't too pleased with it. Oh well. I haven't heard of it. Let me check it out. Gao Kaiser. Boy, yeah, that sure does look like an Obari anime. He does the character designs too? Yeah, he does. That makes sense. I see. Interesting. The top review is a 1 out of 10. And the second one is 8 out of 10. Then 2 out of 10. Then 3 out of 10. Not well liked. Oh well. Gotta say, the designs are not the most aesthetically pleasing to me. Oh well. Didn't Satoshi direct the last Urusei film? That's right. TBH, I was never a fan of Remember My Love. It's my least favorite. Love the Forever is my favorite part of the whole anime. He's like it's like the Frank Stallone. Yeah. I love Golkaiser. Don't know if you've played the original arcade game, but it's pretty fun. Yes, I have. Did you play the original on MAME on the PS1 port? Yes. I love Obari. Yeah, that's cool. I'm happy he got to do a lot of original stuff. He's a very distinctive director. It's pretty epic. I really like that. Well, it's been about 2 hours. So I really gotta try to do at least 1 more or 2 more episodes of closed captioning, so I gotta get out of here. You guys have been great. You really do make this worth doing. Because it's like otherwise, it'd be hard to motivate myself. So this has been really great. I really appreciate this. You guys really make this happen. Thank you guys so much for joining, and hope to see you soon next week, hopefully. You guys are great. Yo, peace.